Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey, man, once again, we are here for the second time this week in Phillips Arena, and I know we had the two best teams in basketball. Of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers on last Friday, and of course, we have the Golden State Warriors today. But coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to chop up the Atlanta Hawks, and we'll talk a little bit about the combines, and I know you have a lot to talk about when it comes to the combine.
You know, on the road with Sports Vision, back-to-back in Phillips Arena, DJ, the combines coming up, all good things happening. March Madness, college basketball, about to kick off some big things.
All that and a whole lot more coming up next on Sports Visions.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titans.
And welcome back to Sports Visions. Dale, I'll tell you, man, basketball season is in full effect. We got the high school state playoffs that are going on. Of course, started last night and, of course, will be played tonight. But, again, we're right at March Madness. The conference, colleges are playing the conference basketball tournaments. And, of course, the NBA is less than 20 games away from the end of their season, and a lot of the teams, or at least a few teams, have already declared themselves into the playoffs.
Well, you know, man, everybody's in the playoff mode. DJ March Madness cranks up a little more intensity and a little bit more passion when it comes to basketball from all levels, high school, college, and the NBA.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations to both the George Washington Carver Lady Tigers and the Columbus Lady Blue Devils from Carver, the first time making history in all Columbus, Georgia state finals in Class 4A for the girls.
You know, it's been big, DJ, and we've been speaking it for the last 4 years that the girls were a little bit ahead of the boys in basketball, but really to see the D1 scouts come in and out of Columbus, you know, you got kids going all over the place for the girls are concerned, and really, DJ, they represent the city of Columbus very well.
They do, and again, you know, the girls deserve a lot of credit, Dale, because, you know, it's been a long, hard fight because, you know, the Kinder Cherokees have won 2 state tournaments, but for whatever reasons, girls basketball in Columbus, Georgia, high school basketball in particular, has just not been able to get their fair share of credit. But now they're proving it, they're earning it on the court.
They're earning it all around the state, DJ, from the AAU coaches around the Southeast to the people in Columbus, Georgia. They believe now, and they see how big that women's basketball has gotten in Columbus via the high school market. If you look at Columbus State, DJ, they win the Peach Belt Conference with their girls 3 great years in a row. And really, they have some good players in the Columbus area.
And this is an excellent time to transition into Columbus State because Anita Howard has just done wonderfully, of course, finishing number 4. They get the Peach Belt Conference first round bye, and again, they get the automatic bid to the NCAA Southeast Regionals. So we're looking for a lot from the Columbus State Lady Cougars.
We're looking for a lot from them, DJ. They played great the last 4 years. 3 years in a row, they've been number 1 seed. They get the monkey off their back this time, DJ, by winning the Peach Belt Conference Championship. It's going to be very interesting to see how they play out in the old NCAA.
And as far as March Madness is concerned, on Sunday night, which is tomorrow night, you'll have an opportunity because they have the seeding and they give out all the teams that have made it. And I know that there's some teams in the SEC that have been on the bubble, one in particular, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, you know, they're on the bubble, man, and really they play. You know, you have to play your way in, DJ. Sometimes when you don't have that 20 games, you got to actually win this thing out. That's the only way you're going to get in.
And, of course, you know, as far as the other teams that are in, you obviously know Florida is in and South Carolina is in and Kentucky. You know what? They made themselves known over the few years with a great reputation of the one-and-done players. But all in all, I'm looking forward to just as much excitement this year in March Madness in the tournament as I saw last year.
Really, DJ, and it starts this weekend. You know, all the conference, the men's conference championships are all this week. ACC, SEC, all around the country. And like you said, they'll have the Sunday night selection show to see actually where all these teams are going.
All right, let's bump it up to where we are now. We're in Phillips Arena, home of the Atlanta Hawks. And, of course, the Atlanta Hawks, they're playing up and down this year. And I know we saw them play a very, very admirable game against Cleveland several nights ago. And, of course, tonight we hope that they can bring it to the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Golden State Warriors are playing wounded. Of course, their best player, the second best player in the world in my mind, Kevin Durant, is out for the rest of the season. and Steph Curry is just now coming out of a cold spell with shooting three-pointers.
Well, you know, DJ, it's kind of funny you say that, you know, they're missing Kevin Durant, but hey, they got a team full of all-stars and dead-eye shooters, so I'm not really looking forward to Golden State really just losing a lot of games, but really they're still a good team, even with the injuries of KD. But on the other hand, with the Atlanta Hawks, I don't like what I've seen of the Atlanta Hawks here lately. I don't see any intensity. I don't see any passion. I don't see them playing defense. I think one of the only key spots and good spots that I've seen is Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he's a great guy coming off the bench, but they need some spark. They need some more out of Dwight Howard. They need some more out of Dennis Schroeder. So really, right now, they got to turn up, player.
They do need to turn up. I know Dennis Schrader and Paul Millsap are the two leading scorers, right around 18 points a game. As you mentioned, Dwight Howard's averaging 13 points a game. Kent Bazemore is solid, but they need a spark. Tim Hardaway Jr. comes off the bench, man. He plays like his hair's on fire.
That's right.
And they need all five of the Hawks to play like their hair's on fire in order for them. Now, they're going to probably make it into the playoffs.
Right.
But they got to go into these playoffs with some momentum, especially it's less than 20 games left in the regular season. You got to start playing good basketball.
You got to play, man. And really, if they start playing today, they're in the 5 spot, and they will probably be going against the number 14, the Toronto Raptors, which basically they've almost won 50 games right now. So at the same time, it's going to be harder for the Hawks, but they got to turn up. They weren't able to get a free agent. They haven't gotten the spark from anybody else, but I think Tim Hardaway Jr., he might be the guy, man.
Now, Mike Dunleavy came over in the trade for Kyle Korver, and the Hawks are lacking a consistent three-point shooter. I thought Dunleavy would be the guy, but he's been injured, Dale. He hadn't been playing in the last few games.
Really, he's been absent, really, DJ. I mean, just since you mentioned him, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he is on the team. But at the same time, Bazemore got to turn up. He's got to turn up. Millsap is doing everything he possibly can, DJ, and really all the Shuffle-Loafers. These guys got to turn up, and if they don't start playing better defense, they might drop out of that 5 spot to be fighting their butts off for the 8th or the 9th spot.
All right, let's go around the NBA quickly if we can. We know that the Spurs are pretty much front runners in the West, especially since the Warriors are wounded. And when you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, they came in here tonight with a couple of nights ago with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. Both of those guys gave the Hawks 40 in that win. They're looking pretty much still to be just as strong and the team to beat in the East.
Yeah, really, they look like a DJ. You might as well stop the presses right now and let Golden State and the Cleveland Cavaliers continue their rematch. But the Spurs going to have a lot to say about that, DJ. You know, Popovich is going to have his guys playing, I think, a little hard defense. And if Kevin Durant is not able to come back for Golden State, they're going to have some problems out west, too. But right now, the Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, those are the teams to look out for. And Cleveland in the East.
All right, coming up in just a little bit, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk football from right here in Phillips Arena, and I'm talking about the NFL Combine. We'll be right back.
I'm back, swimming at the gym every week. Last month, I started playing tennis again. And 4 months ago, I went hiking for the first time. I struggled with knee pain for years. Just walking upstairs was difficult. But the St. Francis Orthopedic Institute was there, from surgery through physical therapy, helping me get back to doing the things I love. Thanks, St. Francis. I'm back in motion again.
Hi, I'm Grace Carswell. I almost lost my life in a car accident due to someone else's negligence. Forrest B. Johnson & Associates held the insurance companies accountable and worked tirelessly on my behalf to make sure I got the compensation I deserve. You can trust Forrest B. Johnson & Associates. Results you can bank on.
Call Forrest B. Johnson & Associates right now. 706-223-5380.
Welcome back to Sports Vision. Dale, the NFL Combine is the job interview that most of the college prospects have been looking forward to. It's come and gone, and you know, in Indianapolis this year, it wasn't a big buzz, but it was some very talented players there. So I still think it was very important for the NFL to actually televise it like they always have been.
Oh, yeah, they do a big job. The NFL Network does a great job televising the Combine. I guess the biggest storyline was Joe Ross. running a 4.22. Fastest time ever been ran in the combine. That was the biggest story, but really, we got to see the quarterback. Deshaun Watson didn't disappoint. He ran a good time, and I think really the DBs, I was surprised at all the DBs. There was a lot of kids that were fast, but I really was surprised with the safeties, the way they ran.
Yeah, the thing about it is that so much is said about the combines, and there's been a lot said about the people who weren't there. But one guy in particular that I was disappointed that got sent home, even though he was not going to be able to do all the drills. Reuben Foster, a young man that you and I both covered since high school. He was a Sports Vision's Defensive Player of the Year, of course, and he got sent home for whatever reason. He's got in an argument with some of the medical people, and the NFL people thought it was in their best interest to just send him home. That's not a good look.
That's not a good look at all, DJ, and I hate for it too, because really he missed out on the experience that he really earned. We don't know exactly what happened, DJ, but at the same time, you got to exhibit some patience, whether he was wrong or the medical attendant was wrong. I mean, I think really he was a lot of frustrated because he wasn't able to perform. And he's a baller. He wants to get on the field. But I think they're going to smooth that over. And I think he's got a lot to live up to. And they'll probably get the same chance when he has his pro day to do all the interviewing that he was going to do.
Well, actually, Reuben and his agents came up with a brilliant idea. They sent back in a formal apology. And the announcers on the NFL Network said that, he was definitely not happy with what happened. He wasn't proud of it. It was something, going to the combine, something that he dreamed of as a young kid. Yeah. However, if anybody that was interested in him who he didn't get to see, this Saturday, March the 10th at Tuscaloosa in the defensive playroom, he invited the scouts in to come finish what he didn't get to finish in Indianapolis. So he's a top 10 pick, and if teams really want him, they're going to be in Tuscaloosa today.
I really think they'll be there, DJ, and really giving them the opportunity to make amends. He's apologized. He's a humble kid. He's a good guy. And really, I think old Nick Saban's going to have a little influence on that, too. But I think he'll be able – he just missed the experience, but I think he's still going to get a fair chance to be a first-round draft pick.
One of the players that stood out in my mind going in and afterwards is Deshaun Watson out of Clemson. I think he had an opportunity to prove to the scouts that not only was he an accurate passer, but his football IQ is off the charts.
Well, really, every time we get down to that quarterback piece, everybody talk about not just the athleticism, but the football IQ. And this guy knows he's seen every coverage there ever was, DJ. And then those two games against Alabama kind of cemented his position to me, because Alabama plays a lot of pro-style defense. I just hope he gets a chance to go to a good team.
Absolutely. Now that the combine is over, the coaches and scouts get to go back and evaluate the tape of all the drills. They get to go back and evaluate all the mental things the mental tests that they took. And really, it's all the bottom line with me. All of that stuff is great, but nothing beats looking at the tape of the football games that those kids have played over their career.
Well, you know what they say, the big eye don't lie. So I think really seeing these guys in action on film, and I'm sure they've seen a lot of action of Deshaun Watson, how he leads out of the huddle, all the things that he's done well. But I think one of the biggest things with him is his football IQ. Like you said, any quarterback's got to have a football IQ. And I'm going to tell you, that dual threat quarterback piece is going to work big time in the NFL.
All right. I'll tell you what, there's still more football coming. We got pro days coming up. We'll have an opportunity to check out some of the pro days in our region. And, of course, the NFL draft in April.
That's going to be big, DJ. I told you, some more football out here, player.
All right. We'll take a short break. This is Sports Vision.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're going to be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
Today, my dad walked me down the aisle. It seems like yesterday when he taught me how to drive. And just a few years later, he took me to college. But I remember the day my dad had a heart attack. And that almost changed everything. He needed open heart surgery. Lucky for us, we had the amazing doctors at the St. Francis Heart Hospital on our side. Because of their excellent care, he's here with me today. Thank you, St. Francis.
And welcome back to Sports Vision. It's now time for On the Wall, and I tell you, that's our personal favorite to do this segment because, like we always say, because of you, we're going to answer these questions. And, of course, this week, Dennis Schroeder, of course, the Atlanta Hawks point guard. A lot of folks want to know why in the world, after hitting 23, 24 points in the first half, why was he benched early in the third period and didn't come back? And, Dale, first and foremost, let me just start and preface it with this. We know that there have been some issues with Coach Bud and Dennis.
Right.
And more recently, after the All-Star break, the guys got to go home for 2 or 3, 4 days. I think Dennis went to Europe, back where he's from. He's from Germany. He was late coming back reporting, okay? So they ended up not starting him, and they suspended him for 1 game. Well, the very next day down in Orlando, he was late for the team bus. Boom. So back-to-back penalties, and he actually didn't start that game in Orlando. Now, more recently, or the other night, we had a situation where there was an argument that went on the court between Dwight Howard and Dennis, and, of course, we didn't see them play anymore. I want your thoughts about this whole Dennis Schroeder thing, because we've been talking about this young kid since he's been playing for the Hawks. And, again, a lot of talent and a tremendous upside, but there's something that needs to be addressed.
Well, you did that. You might have said it right, young kid. And I think one of the biggest things that we've noticed since this year, this guy's having problems. He's not all grown up. I think they might have gave him the keys too early, but they get rid of Jeff Teague anyway. This guy has great promise, good talent, but at the same time, DJ, I just felt in my spirit that he was just pouting. For him coming back and being suspended for a game for being late with the team. Then last night, he gets into it with Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard, man-child, they're both similar, but they got to mature. And in a big-time game like that, they were playing very well,
yes.
DJ. They lost that game last night because they took Dennis Schroeder out of the game and didn't have Dwight Howard in the game to get rebounds. They could have won that game just as well as they lost it. And I think really – Coach Bud's got to do something. And, I'm kind of I thought he was a great coach, a good coach, and could be a good disciplinarian, G. But I don't see that now. I just think, man, they just got too much pettiness going on. And sooner or later, you got to have a all-players meeting. You got to close the locker room door, and you got to say, look here, we've been messing around. We got to turn up if we're going to be in the playoffs. And maybe the playoffs are good enough for them, DJ, and being one and done is good enough for them. But they got to turn up. There's no intensity. There's no passion whatsoever during the game. I mean, Bazemore played lackluster. I mean, Millsap is the guy who's been carrying them for a long time, DJ, but I didn't even see him turn up at all. But the passion, the intensity, and Coach Bud's got to coach. And I think really the bench, Dennis Schroeder, and Dwight Howard, some things as a coach, DJ, you got to kind of look the other way and let them handle their own business. Let them police the locker room. But last night, I was stunned. And I think most of the fans that were there in the sellout crowd that was there, they were stunned also.
And you referenced a couple of times last night. You mean Monday earlier in the week, which obviously when we taped this show. The fact of the matter is, again, these are young men who haven't probably matured as much as they need to. I know Schroeder has only been in the league for a couple of years. Dwight Howard, obviously, the book is still out on him. But more importantly than anything, what's more surprising to me is that with all of those names, and you name perennial All-Pro Millsaps, who made All-Star team, the only Hawk that made the All-Star team this year, and been there several times. But Tim Hardaway Jr. has been the bright light, as far as I'm concerned, with being that guy that has given the Hawks that spark, the little spark that they have had. Because we saw him play against Cleveland Cavaliers, and we saw him basically duel with Kyrie and, of course, LeBron. But he can't do it by himself, and he actually. I guarantee you, Coach Bud, if you ask the staff in the front office of the Atlanta Hawks who was going to be your go-to guys, who was going to be your surefire light, I guarantee you they wouldn't have said Tim Hardaway.
They wouldn't have said Tim Hardaway, but Tim Hardaway is playing the best basketball of any Hawk right now. I mean, hands down, he is. But I think really it goes back to Coach Bud. I think you got to turn up and you got to be a coach. Yeah, you want to be a coach and you want your guys to police themselves. But when you're sitting there playing against the Golden State Warriors, have the best record in the NBA, and you got a chance to beat them at home in front of a Golden State Warrior crowd, I just think, some things you got to look to a side and talk about that off the record. But they had an opportunity to win that game. When Dennis Schrader was not in the game, they had a lack of a point guard. They had a lack of getting assists. Dwight Howard out of the game, they didn't get any rebound. And then you don't want to give the Golden State Warriors 2 and 3 shots at baskets because they're shooting threes all day and they're not going to miss 3 times in a row. So that was very obvious to me that something was going on. And, you could just feel the buzz in the crowd like, okay, this man's hit 24 points in the first half, and you don't even have him on the court now.
Well, there's got to be a shakeup, deal. The bottom line is there's got to be a veteran ball player, and at this point in time, they don't have that. And I don't know if Dominique Wilkins, again, as great as he is, and he is a very important part of that organization. Maybe he needs to, step in and be the mediator and the guy that goes, the big brother that comes, to Dwight or whoever else, whether it's in a Schrader or anybody. Because I think he's the kind of guy that can command the respect and obviously earned his respect amongst the team.
Well, DJ, behind, off the mic, I've always asked Wilkins about the new wave player and stuff, and he would always say, these boys, they don't want to listen. They think they make so much money now that they can't take, any being revoked or being, cursed out. You can't coach them hard, but you're just trying to give them a little advice, and they'll look at him like he's got a hole in his head. But at the same time, TJ, somebody's got to control the team. Somebody's got to be the captain. Somebody's got to have a closed-door meeting and get this thing straightened out before they fall out of that 5 spot all the way down to that 8 spot.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes on them. And, again, I tell you, man, we had just so much hope and, never thought that it'd get to this point. But something has to happen, and it's got to happen fast. We'll take a short break. This is Sports Vision.
Dedicado al chofer designado, sigue reinando.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're going to be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
And welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions. Once again, Dale, I want to congratulate both the George Washington Carver Lady Tigers and the Columbus Lady Blue Devils. Just an outstanding season. These guys have been going back and forth, played actually 3 times during the regular season, leading up into the big state championship game at Georgia Tech on yesterday. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm proud, and I hope that these young ladies can draw some attention and capture the imagination of this community because, again, I don't know, I don't think they got the full support of the city when it comes to traveling and supporting them on the big stage.
Well, DJ, we always talk about this, and, this is a shameless plug for our Female Athlete of the Year luncheon that's getting ready to happen. We've been preaching that these girls are a little bit more advanced than the boys now, and we have top-notch girl basketball players, girl athletes in this area, and we're going to prove that in a couple of weeks. But at the same time, DJ, I just, the support system, again, we got to continue to support women's sports. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And then this being a football palace and a football haven has something a little bit to do to. But anytime a team from Columbus, Georgia, 2 teams from Columbus, Georgia, are playing for a state championship, everybody in the town needs to turn out.
Absolutely. Switching gears a little bit, I know we talked about the combine a little earlier in the show, but definitely want to give a big shout out to Auburn's Carl Lawson. He was outstanding as a defensive lineman. He worked out, ran a 4.67 40, did 35 reps with 225, ran the fastest 40 since Corey Lemonier several years ago. But he's going to play, and he's big time.
He's big time, DJ, and Auburn always going to have a sleeper. They're going to have a sleeper, and really we're going to have a great chance if kids didn't do well at the combine, DJ, well, thank God for pro days because the pro days are coming up where you can get to kind of redeem yourself. If you didn't do enough, bench press, if you didn't do a good vertical jump, if you didn't do a good 40 time, you will have a chance when the NFL comes to your campus, you have a chance to redeem yourself.
All right. I want to end with this announcement, and this is breaking news, and I don't even think I've told you yet, Dale, but obviously we talked about our Female Athlete of the Year awards luncheon that's coming up on Thursday, April the 20th. It's been confirmed that head coach from number 4 ranked Columbus State University, Anita Howard, will be our guest speaker. And, of course, they are on playing it. They're off playing now. They actually got a first-round bye in the NCAA Southeast region of the NCAA tournament. And, of course, we expecting them to push for a national championship.
Hey, a great choice, really. I think she's done a great job ever since she's been over there at Columbus State, and really she's an empowerment piece for women, and I think she'll have a whole lot to say.
All right, looking forward to that, and of course, we're looking forward to the next week of sports. Well, that's going to do it for all the sports we have for today. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're going to be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.